Hey everybody, this is Erica Sable. Welcome back to another one of my weekly vlogs. Let's see what's been going on this week. So in terms of gaming, there hasn't been a whole lot happening this week just because I've been relaxing. Although I can relax with video games too, I know, but I think I've just been like sitting and listening to music more than anything. Now, I have been playing Persona Q, which I'm really enjoying, and I will talk about more in my upcoming review, which is finally going to come out, except holidays happen. So that's going to be happening, I believe, on Wednesday or Friday. I just want to spend as much time with the game as I can, just to give you my full thoughts. Aside from that, I have been spending a little bit of time dabbling in a few games. Xenogears, Okami, and Digital Devil Saga. Actually, the thing is I can't find my original memory cards, so I was like, oh well, I guess I lost probably thousands of hours of playtime. I don't even want to think about it in Final Fantasy Tactics. That game I had the most hours in. That was easily like 300 plus. But I can't find these memory cards. So, you know, I have an extra memory card, luckily, but for each of these, for the PS2 and the PS1, but it's still one of those things where it's just like, oh, I want to start over, but oh. So, yeah, that's kind of a bummer, but whatever. It could be worse, right? I could just not own the games. There's always that. Now also, I did an unboxing for the Legend of the Hero Legend of Zelda Compendium that I got over at Fangamer. Love this thing. If you haven't seen my unboxing, please check it out. I just released it this week, so please do check it out. It was so much fun. I love this damn thing so much. Now I just need to get the Historia and then I'm all set with everything. So yeah, let's see what else is happening. This is why I always have my phone out during weekly vlogs, because there's just so much. Oh yeah, so I have actually been, I'm doing this as an assignment, but I've been playing the Zero Escape series over again. So I'm doing 999 and Virtue's Last Reward, and I'm trying to get as many of the endings as I can. And then there's also Ever 17, which is the predecessing series. So, you know, I've been spending time with these, not as much as I want. It's going to be much more so this coming week. But I'm super, super happy about it. It's really nice to be able to get back into the series. It makes me want Zero Escape 3 that much more. Yeah, I don't know why you have to run, dude. You know, that's, yeah, just no. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to mention is I've been listening to the Transistor soundtrack so much. Oh my god, you don't want to know how much I've been listening to it. Oh my god. It's just so good. It is such a good soundtrack. I really love it. I love the soundtrack for Bastion as well. I just love Supergiant games. I just love them to pieces. And Transistor is a really, really awesome game that came out this year, and the music is just impeccable, and the game is just incredible too. So yeah, if you haven't tried out the game, I highly recommend you do. You can find it over on Steam or I think PSN. So yeah, go at it. Go at it. We're gonna move on to anime now. So anime has been a bit on the light side as well. One thing I will say, probably the biggest piece of news, especially with New Year's Eve coming up, I'm going to be joining the MangaPod New Year's Eve special, where we're just going to be doing a live stream and having fun and drinking and stuff. That's going to be with Dodger, Happily Aaron, Yokorama, and Daza. I love being a guest with these guys. They're amazing, and I just want to keep guesting with them. So yeah, we'll see where the new year takes us, but I really love these guys so much, and we all have such good chemistry together, so I just want to guest with them as much as I can, really. So do stay tuned for that. That's going to be Wednesday. I have no idea how we're going to do this with all the different time zones we're in, but we're going to do it. I'm going to be posting about it on Facebook and on Twitter when the stream goes live. If you want to join us in the chat and you just want to shoot shit and have fun, right? So yeah, I really hope you do. Aside from that, I've been continuing on with my Makoto Shinkai review series. I'm going to be releasing another review this Monday for a very short little film that I'll be talking about in my Patreon, YouTube Life section, just because that's where I like to keep all my future endeavors section. So yeah, that's been good, and I'm starting to dwindle down in the Makoto Shinkai series. I have a lot of like short films I'm working on now, so I want to keep them all in like just how do I put, I don't even know how to talk right now. I still want to keep them as like one-on-one reviews though. I don't want to like do like a bundle, like, hey, let's, you know, review this one and this one and this one and this one all in one place. Like, it's just, there's too many emotions that happen, and it's just too much fluctuation, so I'm just not even gonna bother. After this, I will tell you though, because I am dwindling down, I do have very few Makoto Shinkai works left, no features. I am gonna be moving on to who am I gonna be moving on to? Satoshi Kon. That's what I'm going to be moving on to. And if you want a little bit of a, I'm really bad with hints. I usually just flat out say what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start out with Perfect Blue. That's my favorite film of his, and I love it to pieces, and it's disturbing as hell, and I think it would be a really great start to the series, and then of course we'll move on to other favorites too. So that's gonna be great. I'm so excited for that. Aside from that, I haven't really been watching too much other anime. I was watching Your Lie in April, which I'm really loving a lot. I'm loving it not as much as I loved Nagi no Asakara, but it's given me the feels like Nagiyasu did. I love Nagiyasu. I really want that show to come out on DVD. Oh, I really hope it does. I really do. I like the poster. I like everything. Oh, I have like too much Nagiyasu merch just because I freaking love it and I need it as much in my life as possible. So maybe sometime, but Your Lie in April is pretty good right now too. So one other show that I was thinking about starting actually was Kino's Journey. You may have heard of it. It's a really nice, very existential anime about this girl who travels with her talking motorcycle, just traveling across the country and experiencing a sense of self-discovery. Now, this is kind of an appropriate time to be watching this, because I've already set a lot of like 2015 endeavors for myself, and one of them is to get my M motorcycle license. I've been wanting to get this license since, I don't even know, since a very long time. I used to have a family friend who drove a motorcycle, and that always, something about it always fascinated me. I never really liked the idea of cars. Like, I have my full driver's license, but I hardly drive ever. But there was something about that. The closest I could get to that was biking around the city. It's crazy, it's scary, and I love it. It's exhilarating, right? But yeah, I don't know, I just never really ended up pursuing it because people I was dating were always worried about me, and they always thought, that's really dangerous, Erica. I hope you know like how much more percent chance you could be of dying if you ride a motorcycle and stuff like that. But for me, it's not about that, and I'm frankly not nearly so scared of that idea. It's more just that sense of driving alone and enjoying the scenery and just having that sense of self-discovery within yourself. I feel like I had that when I went to Montreal just a couple weeks ago. I realized how much I love to travel alone and how much I just want to travel more. I used to travel a lot growing up. I drove around with my parents everywhere, and that's another thing, is I had this sense of, maybe not self-discovery when I was that young. That was pretty young, but I drove a lot as a kid. A lot. We moved around so much. I got to see so many amazing places in the US because that's where I lived most of my life. It was incredible. I loved it. But it's I want the chance to be able to do it now. I want the chance to be able to do it myself and be in control and be self-sufficient and have my own motorcycle. My own vintage bike would be a dream. I love the BMW 1960s series. I think that they're beautiful. It's something I'm going to work up towards. But I think that Kino's Journey is a really great little anime that'll put me in the proper mindset. Plus I hear it's a really great anime in general too. So yeah, do stay tuned. I'll probably be talking more about that anime in my weekly vlogs. If I like it enough, I might even do a review for it. Who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it in terms of anime and my ideas about anime. Yeah. Alright, so let's move on to Patreon, YouTube, and Life. Alright, Patreon, YouTube, and Life. So I still like to split this section up because it's kind of on the long side. So for Patreon, I want to thank a ton of new patrons on my profile. First is Kei Sashi, Lil Retro Brothers, Patrick Fluck, Chris Hutcherson, Alyssa White, Alan Newberg, and Blaine C2040. Thank you so much for donating. It's incredible that you guys do these things. Just, it really helps me a lot. It helps me buy new equipment. It helps me upgrade. It helps me create better quality content for all of you. And I've been doing a lot more too. That's another thing, is I felt like my Patreon page was a bit on the stagnant side. It wasn't really where I wanted it to be. It was basically just in my feed, it was me posting my videos so you could see them. So you could see them like everybody else, but you could actually get notifications, because I know on YouTube for subscribers you don't always get notifications, and sometimes you do. Here you're guaranteed to get those notifications. But what I'm doing now as well is, you know, I've also started a mini vlog, which I'm going to be booting back up for 2015. I'm very excited about, and I'm going to be doing blogs as well. I've been wanting to start my own blog for a while. I mean, I had one for a while and I just wasn't using it. I was neglecting it. I love the idea of a blog, and I love talking, and I love writing. Like, even if you pay attention to like the way I put together my reviews, it's a mixture. I use a mixture between my personal skills. I use camera skills, like video editing and everything, but I also use my journalism skills. I do a lot of writing actually when I'm doing my reviews, and I typically write out the entire thing as though I am having a written piece published on a particular outlet, and then I start to break it down so I can improvise, right? Maybe I'll do a stream sometime where I can show you the process of what my reviews are like. I think it would be really fun to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, Patreon's been amazing, and I'm doing a subscriber-based blog actually, and I'm going to be updating that regularly, and I already posted one blog already, a blog post already, and this is going to be going to all $1 and up patrons. So if you do want to check it out, you just need to donate $1 a month and you're all set. Not a lot to ask for, I don't think. So yeah, it's going to be really great, and will give me a chance to reflect and be able to talk about the things that I've been wanting to, and not have to worry about starting a whole new blog on Tumblr or on WordPress or anything like that, because that's a lot of work. I've had more than enough experience doing that years past, like 6 years experience. I just, no. I'm fine with just YouTube for now. So yeah, aside from that, also postcards have been sent to most everybody. There's a few people I still need to get addresses from, but for the most part they have been sent. Now, because of Christmas, there may be some delays in you receiving them. Keep that in mind, but you should be receiving them pretty soon, and I can't wait to hear back from you if you do decide to write back to me. So do stay tuned for that. I'm very, very excited to see what Patreon will offer me in the future, so thanks again for all of your support. It means the world. Alright, YouTube. Wow. Okay. YouTube almost makes me want to cry, because I can't even freaking look at the camera right now. So YouTube has been, my channel has grown so much this year in general. It's kind of crazy the amount of milestones I've been able to reach. It's kind of crazy the amount of mistakes, huge flubs I made this year in order to get better. And I've gotten a lot better at what I do, and I'm really happy about that. And I couldn't have done it without any one of you. I can't believe I am where I am right now. I mean, like, I'm almost at 13,000 subscribers. It's a bit of a dream come true. It really does get faster the higher up you go, but it does also take a lot of work. Like, I easily put 60 plus hours into this every week, especially now that I have my new channel too, Sharp Objects, which I'm going to be booting back up this coming week. I'll be releasing videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and that's going to be more of like my film tokusatsu counterpart, like experimental subculture film culture and stuff like that. Too much culture. But anyways, yeah, it's a lot of work, and I don't necessarily always get paid as much as I feel like I should for the amount of work I do, but that's kind of an investment of my time, and by doing so I have a better chance of growth in the future. And so that's why I've been taking the route I have been, and that's why I'm just like, I feel like there's been such a change, and who knows, maybe if I didn't take my break during the summer I would be higher right now. But I really don't care, because it's just one of those things where it's not about the numbers. The thing I'm most regrettable about or regretful about, I guess, in the summer is that I lost touch with you guys, and I really don't want to, because I love hearing from all of you. Even when I can't always reply back, I want you to know I read every single one of those damn comments. I read every single one because I want to know how you're all doing. I want to know how your Christmas was. I want to know how your lives are. I want to know what's going on in your lives. I do this on Twitter too. I reply to everybody. I do the same on Facebook as well. It might take time every now and again. I might need a little bit of a break. I might need a breather and step back. But overall, like, it's just something you're always in my lives. In my lives? I don't have multiple lives. You're always in my life is what I'm trying to say. There's too many emotions right now. But yeah, I just, you know, I want to thank you so much for all of the support you've offered. I can't wait to see where 2015 takes me. I have no idea. You know, it's still one of those dreams where I want to make this full time, and who knows, maybe it'll happen. Who knows? I really cannot speculate, but I'll try my very, very, very hardest to make it so. Now, for upcoming content, I do have a lot of really nice stuff for you because I am quite behind. So one thing I am going to be reviewing. Now, I just started working with Shark. They have a lot of really cool electronics, and they sent me the Shark Bluetooth speaker here that I'm in love with this thing. This is what I've been listening to the Transistor soundtrack on. This is what I've been listening to Tycho on, and Lana Del Rey and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just in love with this, and it's super easy to set up. So I'm going to be posting my review for this either on Wednesday or Friday. Still trying to figure out which day, considering Persona Q, right? But I love this, so I'm really happy to be reviewing that. Let's see, I also have obviously my Persona Q review, and then for Monday, for my Animonday, just the stupidest name in my opinion, but whatever, we're gonna call it Animonday. I'm gonna be reviewing another one of Makoto Shinkai's films, short film this time around, and that's Doreka no Menazashi. I'm really horrible at names, I'm so sorry. Doreka no Menazashi. Doreka no Menazashi. There we go. See, I gotta practice it a couple times. But it's a nice little heartfelt short that I'm really happy to be reviewing for you, and then I got a few others in store too. Another thing that you should expect is a December Pickups 2014 video. I stopped doing my pickups videos because I was running out of money, because I didn't have the kind of money to be able to buy the things I wanted for myself, and it's pretty depressing when all I can do is show you like 2 things, right? So I finally got to a point now where I have some extra income coming in where I can you know, show you some more stuff. Not too much, obviously. I have a lot of expenses this next bit, especially for 2015. It's gonna be an expensive time, but it's something that I know you guys love these videos, so I'm gonna keep doing. Let's see, aside from that, I'm probably not gonna be doing a top games of 2014. I'm just not really interested in doing something like that. I know that probably comes off like a total bummer. Even to me, like hearing it, I'm like, oh, Erica, what are you thinking? No, but that's something that I think I'm going to be talking more about in like in a blog post on Patreon, or I'm going to be talking about on Twitter or Facebook or on my Instagram in terms of a much more visual based top games, right? I don't know. I have a lot already on my plate, and I just want to kind of take it easy, right? I kind of, like, not even just take it easy, because it's a lot of work with what I'm already doing, but just, I don't know, just kind of focus more on some more non-traditional stuff that I feel like doing at the time. And there's a lot of drama that can come out of posts like that, I've realized, even if it's an opinion. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, in terms of sharp objects, I have some stuff that's coming up on Tuesday. I'm gonna be having how I got started in horror, sci-fi, experimental cinema, and how I got started in tokusatsu. It's all gonna be separated, and then I'm gonna have some of, you know, like my 3 horror films I love, 3 sci-fi films I love, 3 experimental films I love, 3 tokusatsus that I love, or something, just to tell you a little bit about my history and how I did get started and why I love these so much and why I have a channel dedicated to it. I think it'll be really fun. I'm going to be posting a link to my channel, Sharp Objects, below in the description. And then on Thursday I'm going to be posting a review. I didn't really want to tell you guys what I was going to be reviewing, but I'm going to anyway. So I'm going to be reviewing Rosemary's Baby. I love that movie with all my heart. It's a really great you could say it's like a kind of like a horror psychological thriller. It's really good though. And it's one of my favorite films, honestly, because of the kind of mindfuck it is. So do stay tuned for that review on Thursday. I'm super stoked. Yeah, okay, let's move on to life. Okay, life. Life has been pretty good. It's been Christmas. I spent Christmas alone this year, which was kind of a bummer. My sister's in Boston. My parents are in Tanzania. I know, Tanzania. That's really freaking far away. That's very far away. So I didn't get to see anybody, you know. I didn't get to see anybody, which kind of sucked. Even my roomie went and hung out with her friends instead of hanging out with me. So, and then hung out with her family. So it's just one of those things where I'm just like, well, I guess I gotta make the most of it, right? So I hung out with my cat. I watched Christmas specials, which was great because I got to catch up on all these shows that I grew up as a kid, like National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, Home Alone 1 and 2, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Oh, all of these. There's just so many. You know, I didn't even get to watch all of them because there's just so many. But I had a really good time. It might sound kind of depressing because I didn't really do anything Christmassy aside from me getting a tree for myself to cheer myself up, right? And maybe I did spend it alone, but I had a really good time, kind of like how I had a really good time in Montreal spending it alone. That all said, I'm just really looking forward to 2015. 2014 was a really brutal year. 2014 had way too many bad things happening. Like 2014 was just a brutal year. It was about as bad as 2009. That was a really rough year. That's when I moved back to Canada. I was dealing with a lot of really serious things. I was dealing with, you know, moving to a new country. Well, not really a new country because I was born in Canada, but starting with a blank slate, which is kind of a good and bad thing. I had just dealt with, I don't like talking about this very often, but I just dealt with a sexual assault from an old friend of mine, ex-friend obviously now, but it was bad and there was a lot of drama and a lot of, you know, obvious slut shaming and all these things that you would expect with sexual assault. It really does come in pairs, unfortunately. So it was a really rough year for me and just readjusting and starting a new life and then going to Ryerson for journalism and then quickly realizing I don't really want to be going to university. University isn't my thing. I'm a free spirit and I just couldn't do it. So I was a little bit on the lost side, but I did end up having some really awesome experiences in it all too. I realized how much I love Toronto. I realized what it's like having, well, I didn't get my first job until 2010, but I got my first retail job, which was exciting, and I made a lot of friends, and a lot of friends that well, not a lot, but I made a few friends who I'm still friends with now today too, which is pretty cool. Now, 2014 was bad. 2014 was full of a lot of things. It was full of my parents moving away. It was, and my sister moving away. It was sister quarrels as well, which I'm just not even gonna bother getting into, but big sister quarrels. Heartbreak, a lot of heartbreak. I break up, you know, me breaking up with Brad after 4.5 years of being together, and after that I can't stay in a relationship for longer than 3 months. That's always great. Yeah, just like drama with like negative people, whether it's romantic or friendship wise, people who just weren't here to support me when I needed it most. Serious physical injury. I fractured my tailbone, which was pretty brutal. I gotta say, don't ever fracture your tailbone. And just huge bouts of depression that just came and went, right? It was, and then also losing half of the collection. I mean, I have a pretty nice collection of video games right now and movies and everything, but everything was split 50-50. Like, I own that many things and he owned that many things. So everything that you see here is about half of what we originally had. We always, like, we didn't share our belongings, right? But like I said, a lot of good did come from all of this. No matter how bad or how shitty your life might be at certain moments, just remember that there's always something to learn through every experience. There's always something to learn. And it's something that I think a lot of people typically forget. They forget to stay on the positive side of things in terms of all of it. And it's very hard to stay positive, you know, and it's not necessarily something where you need to be positive. When I say positive, I mean just realizing other perspectives within it all. I think the way that you are supposed to get stronger through these kinds of things is by acknowledging and accepting those feelings inside of you and moving on from that and moving forward and telling yourself everything's gonna be fine and pick yourself back up. I've told myself a lot. I've told myself this a lot on camera before. A lot, too much even. I probably wouldn't be able to open up nearly as much as I can on camera if it wasn't for a lot of these unfortunate things happening, right? This is like a kind of like a diary. I get to talk to you, and it's like I'm talking to every single one of you. So I mean, like, if there's ever a moment in your life where you feel like life is just hopeless, like you're hopeless, like you can't keep living like this, just remember things do get better. They don't always get better as soon as you want them to. Sometimes you won't realize certain things until you get older. When you get older, things do get harder in a way because you're not so naive about things. You're not so, I don't know, there's a sense of privilege that I feel like people have when they're younger, or like when they're early 20s or in their late teens. They feel like, oh, well, I'm an adult, right? Just keep in mind that as you do get older, like I totally get that because I was like that too. Even just like a few years ago, I felt like I deserved way better. I felt like whenever anything bad happened, I'd be like, why me? Why do these things happen to me? But as you get older, you start to realize it's not about why me anymore. It's not about that. It's just these things happen, right? And that's kind of what I mean when I say I wise up, right? I still meet a lot of people today where I reflect back, I'm like, oh yeah, like I just don't really see myself as self-important anymore. Not in that way as you do when you're younger. I still hold myself to a very high regard, but I realize that things happen and sometimes things are totally out of your control and you need to just be strong and you need to move forward from those experiences no matter what happens. So yeah, it's just maybe something to take away, something to realize that you don't need to necessarily become happy just like that. That doesn't happen. There's so much gray area involved. But what I can say is just accept those problems. Accept that they're there. Accept how you're feeling and try and do things for yourself that make you happier. Try and do things for yourself that you know will cheer you up. Things that will make you feel like you can get through this, right? Been through a lot growing up where I've had to tell myself that. And even after that, I was still immature as hell. You know, I was the kid who was sheltered growing up. I had a very loving mom who had anger issues because my dad's alcoholism, so I had to deal with a lot of emotional and physical abuse. And it was hard. I wasn't allowed to go outside as a kid. My sister, on the other hand, who was about 7 years older than me, she was always out. For her, it was like an escape. She needed to get out of the house, but I wasn't allowed to. I couldn't even play outside. I couldn't play with friends until I was much older in life, which sucked. But, you know, I mean, at the same time, it gave me a chance to play a lot of video games and to explore art and explore why I'm a creative person in general, right? Explore me more than anything. And I think that's why I know myself so well, is because I was able to spend so much time alone. But through that all, I also heard a lot of shouting and I heard a lot of fighting. And there was just a lot of bad things that happened in my life. But you know what? You pick yourself up from those things and you accept those things. You don't hold grudges. Although when I was a teen, I held so much grudge against my parents and against my sister. Like they weren't worth my time because they weren't there for me when I needed it. But then I realized that, yeah, sometimes they were there for me. Sometimes they weren't either. But it's not about holding on to those negative feelings. It's about letting go and accepting and finding closure within yourself, even if you can't always get it from those people themselves. So I have a really good relationship with my parents now, despite all of that stuff that happened. I actually have a pretty good relationship with my sister now too. After she moved to Boston, like we weren't talking at all. And then she moved to Boston, and then during Christmas, I was just like, you know, I gotta talk to her. I really have to. I gotta like let this go, even though I know this isn't my fault. I gotta let this go and be the better person. That's all it's about for me. It's about, you have to be the better person. Sometimes you have to. It doesn't always feel like the right thing to do. It might feel like, well, I deserve better. They should do this for me, not me for them. But it doesn't matter. It's not about that. You know, sometimes it's just, you have to let go of everything and do the best thing you could possibly do. And that's what I did. And now me and my sister get along really well. So I'm happy about that. At least as well as I think, you know. So I don't know. There's a lot to pick up from this, but I'm really looking forward to 2015. I'm looking forward to all these new endeavors. I'm looking forward to getting my motorcycle license potentially. I'm looking forward to taking graphic design classes, like continuing education classes at OCAD. I'm looking forward to possibly taking a trip to Vancouver by myself. I'm looking forward to so many things, just becoming closer with friends. I don't have a whole lot of really close friends. I've never been that kind of person where I look for a lot of friends. I like having a close-knit group. Or just like one-on-ones with people, but I want to strengthen those more because making true friends is very hard. They're so few and far between, so you need to really make it count more than anything. You can't force that kind of stuff at all, right? So yeah, you know, there's just a lot that I'm hoping will happen this 2015. And then so many debts I need to pay, and I have these immigration problems I've been dealing with right now that have been really brutal. That's another thing that happened in 2009 is immigration problems. That one I don't really like to get into too much detail about because it's kind of complicated, but right now I can't go back to the US. I'm in a really complicated situation. I've already paid thousands of dollars to be able to get a waiver together, but I have another $1,000 to go, and then I'll have everything all set. But it's unfortunate that I can't go to the US. This is why I haven't gone to the US in however many years, and tons of years. And I won't be able to go back to the US for a long time still too, actually. Like I said, this is kind of a weird thing to talk about on camera, but it's a reflection, right? It's a reflection. So I'm hoping that I can pay that off this year. It's just $1,000 more. I can do this. I can do this. I can pay for more things for my apartment living. I can pay off my debts, and I can do that, and I'm happy. So it's a lot to do, but I can do it. So I really, you know, that's just my personal reflection. If you want to leave your reflection or anything you've been going through this year or in past years, you're more than welcome to in the comments below. Do whatever you feel like is right for you. I'd really like to hear, and maybe we can talk a bit more about this. But yeah, that's life right now. So yeah, that's life. So I hope you enjoyed my weekly vlog. A bit on the long side, but there's a lot of reflections. I mean, this is basically the time of year to do so since this is the last Sunday of the year. Just so crazy to say. I'm so happy 2014 is over though. Oh my god. I really hope some of you had an amazing 2014, and I really hope it gets even better for 2015. I was just very unlucky. I was very unlucky with this one. Just in general, just a lot of problems culminating into one. Problems I've had for years, or problems that happened this year. A lot of life changes, but things that needed to happen. So I'm really curious, how was your Christmas? How was your 2014 in general? What can you reflect back on about it? What do you feel about it? You know, through the good and bad, what can you take away from it? And what can you do to make yourself stronger if you did have some really bad times this year? I think a lot of us did. 2014 was not a very lucky year for a lot of us. And at the same time, there's a lot of good that can come from it, and you can wise up a lot from it. And this is how you grow up. This is all about growing up, right? So I'm really curious to hear if you are willing to indulge me, please do. Or if you want to do so through a postcard to me, if you are a Patreon patron, please do. I would love to hear from you. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear from you. I always do. So please leave your comments below and tune in again this Monday for my next Makoto Shinkai review, and then lots more content this week like I had mentioned earlier. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. Thank you so much for making 2014 so much better despite all of this, you know, for helping me just grow my brand, grow my channel, and helping support me through these rough times. I really couldn't be more thankful, so thank you so much. You guys are like, I wish I could like, I don't even know. I wish I could thank each and every one of you individually. That's what I really want to do. If I could, I would. Maybe someday we'll have like a meetup. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to do this. I think it'd be really great because I think you're all really amazing people. So I hope you have a good rest of your 2014. I hope you have a good rest of your Christmas holidays, and yeah, you'll be seeing me more soon, okay? All right, peace.